Hello, everyone, and welcome back to season 3 of the Plant Powered People podcast with your hosts, Michelle Kane
and Tony Okamoto. I can't believe we're in season 3 already. I just don't understand how time is flying by so fast. How is it October already?
I know, it is really crazy. We're in this weird time of life where things are both standing still. It's like Groundhog Day. Every day is the same. So I feel like time should be on pause too, but it's not. The days, the years the year is flying by. It's nuts.
I know. I can't believe we're already in the last part of the year. And I also can't believe that our book is coming out this month. Michelle and I have been working on this thing for what feels like forever. And finally, it's coming out this month on October 27th.
The Friendly Vegan Cookbook.
That's the biggest news in our life. It's been something that we've been working on for really a couple years now, really hardcore for a couple years, but it's been in our hearts for a really long time. And it's going to be a reality on October 27th. So you'll hear more about this. Michelle, what's happening in your life?
Well, I'd like to say that our book is the biggest thing that's happened in my life, which it is my number 2 baby. But I also had a baby since last we talked. It's crazy because in the beginning of last season, when we did our welcome episode, we were sharing updates in our life. Like, Tony, you got married then, right? And I was pregnant and we were working on these projects. We were like maybe not very far into working on our book. And now here we are and everything has come to life, literally. So I'm now mama of a 9-month-old bebe, fully plant-powered, of course. And that has been such a crazy, awesome, special journey and adventure, being a mom on top of being home in the pandemic and through COVID, on top of working on our book and our podcast and World of Vegan and all of the things. So that's the latest in my life.
I have a baby too. His name is Eddie. Eddie is our rescue dog. We initially began to foster him from a place called Front Street Animal Shelter. They were in a very unfortunate situation where they were going on a shutdown and they had to get rid of 100 dogs in 24 hours. So I went to the shelter to help them out. They pretty much handed me a dog. All I wanted was a pit bull who I could hold on a leash. The first one they gave me was 70 pounds and was walking me around. I could hardly keep my arm. So we went to Eddie and we were just going to foster him, and he just so quickly won us over and has been the perfect dog. I take him to pit bull school on Sundays and he learns how to be a really good ambassador, and he's so kind. He loves cats. He's met bunnies. Michelle, he's met a bunny.
Oh my gosh. It's such torture because Tony and I both have these new babies in our life, and we used to see each other face to face, hanging out, working on projects, recording podcast episodes, like at least once a week, oftentimes more. And now we're recording all of these from our individual homes and we can't see our babies. I want to see Eddie.
I know. I do appreciate all the photos you post. If you want to see Michelle's baby, he is the cutest little guy of all time. You could see him on her Instagram, her personal Instagram, Michelle Kane. And his eyes are the bluest eyes ever. And it just makes me so sad that I can't hold him. For a while, I was holding him on a weekly basis at least. And now I see these pictures and he's moving around the house by himself.
Yeah, Tony was one of the very first people to hold Graham when I was in the hospital still. She came the day after he was born. The day he was born.
Mm-hmm. He was this little tiny itty bitty hours old baby.
Yeah. So it was myself, my husband, little Graham, my mom, and Tony.
I brought you guys Burger Patch.
Oh, yes. Burger Patch is a vegan burger place here in Sacramento, and they're amazing. I was so lucky, Dan and I were, and Graham, to be able to have had him before the pandemic hit. We had him in January. And really soon so like we had a couple weeks or maybe a month of living a normal, free, liberated life. And then pretty quickly we got on lockdown. So now Graham knows very few humans other than myself and my hubby.
So all this is to say, I haven't seen Michelle since we haven't hung out since February.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe that, Michelle.
Yeah.
I will say this. Michelle and I still talk every day, and it feels like we're hanging out, and we get together virtually all the time. So I do still feel connected, but I miss giving you a hug, and I miss giving Dan a hug and holding the baby and petting Chansey.
We have been hard at work planning a really awesome season for you all. We are recording a little bit differently in this season than we have in the past. In the past, we always bring on a guest with almost every episode. But now that we're all recording from home and just pandemic times are a little bit different now, we're changing it up a bit for season 3, and we're going to have a lot of episodes that are just us, as well as a handful of episodes with really awesome guests. Tony, what are some of the ones you're most looking forward to this season?
I'm looking forward to chatting with our parents, which is something I never thought I would do on one of our podcasts. My mom is really shy, and so I've asked her to come on, and she's already agreed. And I'm curious to hear her perspective of what it was like for me to go vegan. And Michelle's mother-in-law is also coming on that same episode.
I love that episode, we're going to call it Meet the Parents. Yeah, we're also bringing on someone I'm really excited about, Margie Beach, and she's going to talk all about adoption, fostering and adopting a baby. I'm so grateful for everyone who chooses the path of adoption, and I think it's a topic that doesn't get talked about nearly enough, and a lot of people just don't really understand how it can fit into their life or how you go about adopting a child. So I'm so excited to talk about that and highlight all the wonderful benefits of adoption.
And for those who don't know, Michelle was adopted.
Yes, I was adopted. We had my birth father on the show in past seasons. So if you're longtime listeners, you know, but adoption has a very near and dear place in my heart because my whole life today exists because I was adopted by my amazing parents. So thanks, Mom and Dad, and can't wait to bring on Margie. Some of the other episodes we're excited to dive into topics like 10 ways to be more eco-friendly without buying a Prius. We are going to talk all about vegan cheese, all about dairy, answering all your plant-based questions or some of the most common questions that people get asked. And, Tony, tell a little bit about Matt Nagra.
Oh, yes. Matt Nagra has a really fantastic Instagram. If you haven't followed it, please do. He does a lot of myth busting, and so we're going to have him on to do some myth busting around health. He's a doctor up in Canada and will be teaching us some healthy habits as well as busting some of the most spoken of misconceptions there are around plant-based diet.
Yes. And one of the guests I'm also most excited to talk with is we have an 80-year-old guest who went vegan, and we're going to talk all about how that has changed his life, improved his health. And I'm so excited to record that episode. So
we're going to keep this episode short and sweet, but we hope that you're all doing fantastic. And thank you again for listening to our podcast. As a reminder, we have a book coming out this month. Please check it out. And if you do decide to buy it, if you could leave a review, that would make a huge difference for us.
It is coming out this month. You can find it at friendlyvegancookbook.com, or you can look up the Friendly Vegan Cookbook anywhere you shop for books. And we are so excited to get that in your hands super soon. We also have some pretty awesome pre-order bonuses. We're personally buying a Vitamix to give to one of you who pre-orders, and everyone who pre-orders is going to get an ebook with some sample recipes from the book so you can start cooking right away. So head on over to friendlyvegancookbook.com where you can find all the details for that. We also have some really cute pins that say Friendly Vegan that you can put on your jacket or your bags or whatever. So you can find that all at friendlyvegancookbook.com. I also want to give a shout out to our sponsor of this episode, Raise Vegan. As a new vegan mama, this has been a resource I have been absolutely loving. At raisevegan.com, you can find this platform with recipes, with guides, all sorts of information about plant-powered pregnancy and conscious parenting. They used to be a tangible magazine, but with these pandemic times, they've stopped publishing their magazine and now it's all online content, but it's all really, really great. A great community of vegan mamas, which there are now like hundreds of thousands of them all around the world. So if you are choosing that path as you become a parent, definitely look out for those resources because there is so much available to you. You do not have to step into that journey alone.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we especially hope you enjoy this upcoming season. Thank you for listening.
Have a beautiful day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.